Average your best cornhole. Got some more Big Mac bags here. Big Mac Bags is a small company, great little company. Actually charges the same amount for custom designs as he does his regular designs. And unfortunately, we've had these two series for a long time, and they just kept getting pushed back, and they really didn't deserve that because the whatevers. I mean, they're a great bag. Probably one of my favorite. Great bag for the summer when, humidity and all that's changing. And then Scrappy was one of his newer series, and that's just his take on the Viper R. It's just a smaller, fuller template.
Baggage time and speeds on these start with the whatever. We do have a 9 on the fast side and a 6.5 on the slow side, quicker bag. And the Scrappies also have a 9 on the fast side there, but a little bit slower, a 5.5 rated slow side for these.
So that will lead us right into the materials and the whatever. It does have that Charmin hybrid. That's that faster hybrid. You can find that on the Surge X and the Cornhole Coaster Icon. The fast side is actually the same materials as the Surge X and the Cornhole Coaster Icon. You can also find it on like the Valkyrie from BG. The Scrappy, like I said earlier, it is a Viper R clone, so it does have that R hybrid slow side. But he does call out on the website that there is a performance liner in there, and then the fast side is just that Viper deadhead fast side we're all used to.
Yeah, and the whatevers, as you mentioned, they're similar to those other bags, but I kind of think they may have done it first, right?
I'm pretty sure. I know that I've had these longer than when those other bags were released.
I know it's the first time we've seen, and when he busted out these whatevers with that carpet on there, I was like, wow, what are these? Never seen it before. And so to me, whenever I see that carpet, this is the first bag I think of. Template and the whatevers on the website, it's listed as a medium, but maybe because we've played them so much and they've stretched a little bit, I think they're approaching a large size a little bit.
They are definitely approaching a large in my mind, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the Scrappies are definitely a little bit smaller. We got, medium to a small template on those. I think they're listed as, a medium template as well.
Right, and I think that performance liner in there really stopped it from stretching as much as those materials usually would.
Yeah, I would agree. I honestly, for, this carpet, I haven't seen or felt much stretch on these bags at all.
Right, and then the whatever and the Scrappy, I guess. I mean, they're weighted right at nominal, and we'll get to it. But there's a lot of flat fill in this whatever, so it's kind of like a heavy bag.
It does feel heavy,
if you ask me. So yeah, the fill and the flop I was just talking about. Whatever, it does have pretty much all flat fill in it, and there's a lot of it. It is a floppy bag, but it's not overly floppy in my mind. That, like what I was saying, is it weighs nominal. And this flat fill, tends to weigh less. So there's a lot of fill in this bag. And then the Scrappy, it does have a mixed fill. The website actually gives you a lot of information on it. It says that, it's 75% flat, but 25% round in there. And it's fuller. It's, like we said, it didn't stretch and it didn't really flop out. This is truly a full, smaller, medium template bag. Leads us to bagmanship and small one-man shop company making bags. It's great, and he's got the smallest closing seam in the business. I hope you guys can see that. That closing seam is that small. That's just amazing. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he flips that bag inside out.
Slide up. Before we get into that, we just want to throw a moment out there to like and subscribe to these videos. We hope you guys enjoy watching it. I know me and Craig enjoy doing it, but we definitely want to be able to create more content, and that's a way to help us out.
Yeah, and I'll pin a comment, down below. If you have thrown these series, let us know about it and tell us how well of an assessment we did on them, I guess. But comment will be pinned, so please feel free to add on to that. So we'll talk about the break-in, and we just wanted to say that the whatever, it was pretty stiff new, which was odd because we have got other series with that, and they really didn't feel like that. So have some patience. Something about it. It does take a little bit longer to break in. And then the Scrappy, it's got to be that performance liner, I guess. It feels like it's never going to break in, but it should last longer for you then.
Forgiveness and the whatever, extremely forgiving bag. One of the most forgiving bags out there. These are a great combination of materials when you're looking for a forgiving bag, and that's really nothing else to add to it.
Well, it does. I mean, it has enough flop, too. That a big bag like this with all that flat fill, it's going to land flat. And then the Scrappy, not so much forgiving. I mean, it's a smaller template bag. It's full. It's an active bag. It bounces on you. Yes. You can manipulate it. It's an active bag all around, right? Yes. And I know that people are going to be able to roll and flop and do whatever the heck they want with that bag just because of what we've seen with our play style.
Yeah. Yeah, active is an understatement. It moves around.
Whole bodiness and just like forgiving or whatever, it's got some really good whole bodiness to it. Like there's enough flop that it's going to, catch a corner, swing around. It definitely has enough speed to do that swing around and drop. And normally all that flat fill, it settles too easily. I think there is enough room inside this bag that's preventing it from settling as much, and it's dripping in.
Whole bodiness on the Scrappies. I mean, you really got to hit your spot. There's not a lot of rooms with it being a smaller template and being a little fuller on beads. There's not a lot of room for them beads to move around, so you're not going to get that late last minute drip in the hole and things like that. So it doesn't have great whole bodiness. It's there, but you gotta hit your spot.
Yeah, and I will say that there were shots where I was cutting around a blocker. And normally I'd be like, all right, that's good enough. And I watched it go over the corner of the hole, and it just kept going. It might have been bouncing over a little bit, but it just wasn't dropping in.
I mean, that performance liner in that aspect may hurt you a little bit because that fabric just doesn't fold. That little bit you need to grab that corner of the hole. All right, collectability and the whatever. Collect it very well if you hit your shot straight on. If you were trying to grab that one where you had to turn a little bit and stuff, sometimes you just didn't seem to grab the pellets.
So the pellets were off to the side or something.
Yeah, so it was a little more difficult, but just hitting your bag, picking up a blocker, one that's just a little bit off, it was very well.
Yeah, sometimes I think it might have been a little too fast too, and it would scoot by. So you have that. The Scrappy, I mean, it was pretty good at collecting, but again, it's a smaller bag, so you really have to be on target. But it is full enough that if you did have that one off to the side, you could probably hit it a couple times and spin it around, and get it in your lane.
One thing that a nod I will give the Scrappy is when it collects, I actually felt somewhat comfortable throwing the fast side on that bag, which I'm generally terrified, but because I think of that fullness and the more full hand fill, I knew if I hit the spot, everything was just going to go. So it was all right in that aspect.
On to the capable shots and the whatever. I'm running holes with this bag. Pretty much. I was a little surprised, like this Charmin carpet, it can cut, so you can get around blockers. But what's really good about it is that, it's better just like bunching up and squeezing in areas and really just using its speed to get around stuff. So I'm just basically going to run some holes with that. You might accidentally put up a blocker, but...
Dude, I couldn't even do that. So it was too quick for me to put any type of reliability blocker. So for a dirty game, it's going to be hard with that. But everything else, like you said, it's good at. The Scrappy, as far as capable shots, now... This bag can probably do it all, right? Mm-hmm. For a more experienced player, somebody that's better at rolling bags, more consistent on, hitting cuts and stuff like that, this bag does have all those capabilities in it. It's just hard to do it consistently for an average player like myself.
Right. It's probably one of those bags that's a little bit too advanced for us anyways. I mean, we would play it, I was playing a kick on that bag, and I tend to think that I have a fairly flat bag. I know it's not perfectly flat. I'm not a pro or nothing, but I threw my shot a couple times and I saw the kick and I'm like, all right. So I just adjusted and literally used that kick when I was playing. So something like that you got to do, but it's a super active bag, and I bet you someone's going to have some fun with that bag. So we'll talk about the company a little bit. And like I said, I think it is a one-man shop or a one-family shop. So you do get really good customer service from stuff like that. He's available. Send him some messages on Facebook and he'll quickly respond. Does have a website, and that's where you'd purchase the bags. And it's just bigmacbags.com. And he also has a Facebook page, which is just at Big Mac Bags. Then that leads right to the cost of these bags, and they're $65. That's stock designs, or like we said, customs. You can get custom bags for $65. We're going to give our overall thoughts on these bags. And the Scrappy, I feel that bag's for somebody. Someone wants to try those materials, but let's say they don't want the big floppy bag that they're used to. That bag would be good for them, especially with the price. I mean, you can't beat that at all. And it is a super active bag, so if someone wants to try to learn some fancy shots with it or something, I think that they might be able to do that.
For somebody that's more advanced and just looking for something that's a little bit different than a lot of the other active bags that are out there, this is different. And you don't see, an exact design of this very often.
So whatever is completely different, though, because it's truly one of my favorite bags. I enjoy throwing this bag. I'm holding on to it. I'm going to keep it as my fast bag, and it's really good in like summertime and, spring and fall when the weather's changing, because that hybrid material is consistent. And, if it does get too wet, it might slow down like a tad, but it's still like the perfect 5.5 speed at that point.
Right, yeah, it's going to pick up, or not drop down in speed quite as much as like a herringbone or something. So you're right. Camp bag, indoor, outdoor, it's fantastic for that. And it's a good confidence builder. That's what I like about that bag, because it's a great hole runner and the forgiveness is just kind of off the charts. So you feel a little bit better. You get that consistency going with that bag, and that's overall my favorite part about it.
Yeah, I seen that bag do some things that surprised me, and I'm like, I can't believe that actually went in.
All right, that's all we got today with our second run-in on Big Mac bags. And if you're going to be average at something, be average at cornhole.